We're a couple of days, we're 48 hours off from Valentine's Day. A lot of times when we welcome in the good doctor, Dr. John Braccio would be on Valentine's Day, and we'd be talking about relationships, etc. But, when it's in the rearview mirror, it's maybe a better time to say, how do you take whatever you had going on Valentine's Day and extend it and open it up to, well, frankly, other days of the year? How do you make every day, if it's possible, Valentine's Day? We welcome him in now. I'm thinking from the warmer climes of South Florida, unless I miss my guess. Am I right or wrong on that? Are you down south?
I'm actually here right now enjoying the winter wonderland that is Michigan. How does that sound?
Oh,
85,
boy.
I believe, in Miami. It's kind of, for some reason, southern Florida is totally free of this kind of weather right now. My daughter, my son-in-law, and grandchildren are there in 80-some degree weather. So it's
Doc, it's in Weatherland. It's what they call, if you look at the weather map, it's what they call the 7-Eleven microwave burrito. It's kind of warm on the outer flanks, and it's still, when you try to eat it, frozen on the inside, the middle. And that's us. So it's all the way down to Texas. Those poor people without power, single digits, they're not used to that kind of weather at all. At any rate, it is, when it's cold like this, it reminds us, though, the time of year. And again, around Valentine's Day, you think it's possible to make every day have that same kind of feeling that you have with your significant other on Valentine's Day? How do you go about doing that?
Well, I think we have to work at it. And I think if people really do try to treat couples every day as Valentine's Day, they will significantly improve the emotional and sexual components of their relationship day. Because Valentine's Day is a special day where couples share their love for each other with cards, comments, gifts, going to dinner, chocolates, or lunch, whatever it might be, flowers. But really, solid relationships are stronger when the couple, when they're really showing love all the time. They're showing gratitude, they're showing appreciation. And if you just do that, you just celebrate each other, work as a team. If you do that, then in a form you are having a Valentine's Day. What happens to too many people, they get stuck in the just day-to-day routine of life, and they lose that mojo, if you will, of the love, of the caring, of the gratitude, of the noticing of each other. And it leads to a real just cooling off of the relationship, which certainly impacts sexual compatibility, impacts any level of the touching intimacy type thing. And the emotional connection gets kind of separated. So if you really want to maintain a loving, caring, intimate relationship, you really do have to really think of the idea of every day as Valentine's Day, meaning you accept the person you're with, you've set a life together, you've set it for permanent. You may have a house, you may have children, you may have work, you may celebrate trips and do things, and all those things are critical, don't hear me wrong. But if you lose the mojo of the two of you and why you're together, then gradually you'll find that people just kind of lose the importance of sexuality, the importance of really, really intimate communication. They just kind of back off into a world. They may not hate each other. They may even get along. I mean, it could lead to divorce, but sometimes they just lead a routine, a routinized life. And really, if you set up a lifetime with someone, you want to remember the courtship, the time you were together, and why were you together? Why are you together? And those are the things that lead to a long-term, successful relationship that includes both the emotional and the sexual components, which are really critical to a loving, caring, long-term relationship.
How do you deal with couples that come in where one of those two critical aspects you just mentioned is missing? Maybe early on there was this incredible physical thing, but once that faded, the emotional attachment just wasn't there. That sounds like it could be fairly toxic. You believe that the one has to carry through with the other, maybe not in equal parts, but they have to be there working together to make it go long term. You believe that, don't you?
I do. I believe they work together. I mean, that doesn't mean a relationship can't have a level of intimacy or a level of emotional, togetherness. But if you really are talking about a full relationship and one that where each is fully satisfied, then those are the components that are important. Now, there may be somebody or two, they choose to be together because they've drifted apart. They may have other reasons, like I say. If you have children, you have a house, you have friends,
right.
you have a common... those are reasons people stay together, and they're important reasons. And I'm not minimizing those kind of things. But if you really want to maintain that type of love and connectedness that you have when you're first together, when you first fall in love with each other and all the magic that is involved in it, then you really have to continue trying to show gratitude, trying to show love, showing the importance to you of the relationship. And the 60-40, if each gives 60, each is getting their full 100% in terms of the 50% of the relationship. So those are the kinds of things. But I find in couple work, so often they've kind of lost their way, both have lost their way, but usually the person who calls for the marital counseling, there usually is someone who's more dissatisfied or feels something has to change, and hopefully the other person agrees. And there are times that both agree, and they don't know what to do. They're kind of, what do we do? How do we get back to where we were? And I say, well, you kind of start by going back on why you got together and really go from there. Day one, redo, and it can happen. I've worked with many couples where there has been success. It particularly works if both couples are strongly motivated to go back to that particular type of a Valentine's Day outlook, if you will, when they first fell in love and got together. But that can happen. Many come to the point they don't want to. They're satisfied where things are. Those tend to lead to relationships that really do not meet the test of really having a lot of loving, caring aspects to it. But as a whole, if people really do, and it's kind of an overstatement, but every day is Valentine's Day, but you're showing gratitude to love, what I mentioned before, and you're letting the person know. Each person says how important that relationship is, and they celebrate. They celebrate time. They celebrate anniversary. They celebrate the day they got together. They celebrate trips they've taken. They celebrate just things. They celebrate themselves. They celebrate what they have done, not from a narcissistic point of view, but from a loving, intimate type way.
And it's a reminder that you're lucky and blessed too, because not everyone is in that same position, and whatever work you've put into it has been to give you that opportunity to work the relationship, and sometimes it is work, and sometimes it's completely pure pleasure. It can vary, but to be in that position is a blessing, and you have to have that kind of, not just for the other person, but if you're a religious person, you say I'm blessed, God, because you put me in this position to have this other person, and not that I really deserved it, but boy, oh boy, am I happy you did. And you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I say that all the time, and it's true in my life. It's very true, and people who know me and know my wife say he should be saying it more because he's luckier that he's admitting right now.
I do, you and I come out of the Catholic tradition. I do think it is important, too, for those that have that, to bring in the spirituality in terms of thanking God. And those that don't have that, and even a secular humanist, you still can greatly appreciate a human being that you're with that loves you. And of all the people in the world, you two got together, the history of the world even, and kind of really see it as a really special kind of a relationship. And if people do that and don't lose track of that and work as a team and grow together, then every day can be a Valentine's Day. And, kind of an overstatement maybe at one level. But if you look at it and start thinking, we want to show love, commitment every day, and having gratitude for what we have. If you can do that all the time and never forget that, I mean, there may be hard days, and we know life is never as simple as everything's, not everything
Very
works
true.
fine all the time,
Very
obviously.
true.
But if we keep those goals in front of us and we never forget them, and we really appreciate who we're with, and we work together, it can make life astonishingly better, more meaningful. And when people have a strong emotional, sexual, intimate type of a relationship, it is really, it is a gift. It's a gift from
No
God.
question.
It's a gift from however you want to look at it, from life, from whatever it is. You found each other and try to see the magic that you can continue having if you work at it. And if there have been difficult times, or maybe when people got together when they were immature, they can really work on improving themselves through spirituality, through counseling, through friendships, through modeling other people they see effective. The key is keep the relationship strong, make it stronger, always be working on it. And if you do that, boy, you'll have a far better life, and you'll lead one that you'll say, even at the end, this was a magical time. It was a great life. We shared a life. We loved each other. We never lost track of that. And that is a way to, not that we want to end talking about ending life, but I'm saying we want people to enjoy every day of their life as much as possible. And at the end, see a bow that you have really had a successful life, and you'll find the children tend to be far more stable when they come from stable, loving homes. It just makes sense. So every reason in the world is to try to make every day a Valentine's Day. That's right, not trite, but just trying to focus on the love, the sharing, the commitment, the gratitude, and working as a team. It's really critical in life.
The Good Doctor and the podcast can be found at Dr. John B., as in the letter B.com, Regional Psychological Services, East Lansing. Always good to talk to you. Stay warm, okay? Do your best.
I will, my friend.
All right, thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure talking to you. Bye-bye.
Ditto. Right back. 1320 WILS.